this. So
That's my question now. My question is about the verse of the Holy Quran which says وَأَوْحَى رَبُّكَ إِلَى النَّحْلِ. What's the meaning of al-Wahi in this verse?
you see, some Arab scholars have differentiated between the word Wahi and ilham. Some scholars of the Indo-Pakistan continent also have done the same, but differently. I read an article against Ahmediyya which was answered by Nazir Muradni Sahib of Syria. In that article also was taken up this issue. He said, you say that Mirza غلام of Qadiyan was the recipient of Wahi. And in support of your claim that it is not against Islam, you quote the verse, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا رَبُّنَا اللَّهُ ثُمَّ اسْتَقَامُوا تَتَنَزَّلُ عَلَيْهِمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ أَلَّا تَخَافُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا وَأَبْشِرُوا بِالْجَنَّةِ الَّتِي كُنْتُمْ تُوعَدُونَ, plus some other verses which speak of Wahi from angels or through angels. He says this Wahi is small thing. It is different from that Wahi which is Zul Amr. And that Wahi, this Wahi is also common to the honeybee. So he quotes it in his favor and says, "Oha rabbuka ila an-nahli an ittakhidhi min al-jibali buyutan wa min ash-shajari wa mimma ya'rishun." He said, so a small thing. It is ilham which is the most important thing. It is the attitude taken by that scholar from some Arab country. If you go to the scholars in Indo-Pakistan, they say Wahi is only specific for prophets of Allah. Ilham is common. So up to ilham we accept, but not Wahi. Why do they have to take this position? Because many Muslim saints and divine people who were highly respected are known to have written that they received ilham from Allah. And they have written books on their ilhamat. So they say if they have claimed ilham, so somebody else does, we don't mind. But they think they never claimed Wahi from Allah. And Wahi is specifically related to the office or the institution of Nabuwah, that is prophethood. While the Holy Quran speaks of ilham even in wider terms than Wahi. وَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا. See, in the creation of things, Allah created everything and then أَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا وَتَقْوَاهَا. So both alhama and oha are in fact indicating the same thing in different words. There is minute difference in detail in the undercurrents of the meaning. But otherwise, ilham is also in relation to Anbiya ikram, that is, the prophets of Allah are recipients of ilham, there is no doubt about it. They are also recipients of Wahi. Those who are not prophets, they are also recipient of ilham and they are also recipient of Wahi. أم موسى
وأوحينا
إلى أم موسى. So Umm Musa was also recipient of Wahi. So in this way, I want to make it clear to you that the word Wahi and ilham are practically the same expressions used in different contexts, meaning only this, that Allah made it known to some people through a divine means or phenomenon. And that phenomenon has been mentioned in the Holy Quran clearly, that Allah speaks with people always from behind the curtain, never openly like this, or through angels who deliver the message to the people, or through dreams and visions. So these are the four manners of Wahi or ilham. This is also a sort of Wahi, because as far as Anbiya's dreams are concerned, all great scholars are agreed on this issue, that the dream of a prophet is Wahi. See? So Wahi is a very important thing. It's not a small thing. The whole Quran speaks of Wahi, of the prophets of Allah. So Hazrat Wasim, when he received messages from God, they had to be in the form of Wahi and ilham. So both these terms are used in relation to that. But what line can be drawn between them, that is a very difficult subject to describe. I have not been able to, myself, been able to find which line would completely separate an ilham from Wahi. Maybe a further study sometime would enlighten me as to that. So far, I admit defeat. I have not been able to find a clear distinction between the two. Okay? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وما كان لبشر أن يكلمه الله إلا وحيا أو من وراء حجاب أو يرسل رسولا فيوحي بإذنه ما يشاء إنه علي حكيم. الشورى الشعراء ہے الشورى الشورى. The verse is 52. Now one thing I want to clarify about both ilham and Wahi. That is how much I have understood of the difference. The Holy Quran does not use the word Wahi in relation to the inanimate things and their creation. You know, when the universe is created, the sun and the earth, etc., as-sama, it is in relation to that the Holy Quran says, Alhamaha fujuraha wa taqwaha. He created everything, and Alhamaha, each of the things he created, he did ilham. He sent a message of ilham. But when the life begins, then the operation of Wahi is witnessed in relation to Allah, not with the dead, on the dead things. So Wahi does not take place in relation to the dead, the lifeless. Ilham is mentioned in the Quran also in relation to the dead. So what is the difference between Wahi and ilham in this regard? As far as the Sharia and law is concerned, I told you, I can't find any difference. I have tried, but I didn't. Here I can. Because there are things which are printed into the character of everything which God has created. And they are referred to as laws of nature. And the laws of nature tell everything, where to go, what to avoid, and everything in nature follows those laws of nature. But when it comes to the turn of life and man particularly, then it is he who has the choice. He can either follow the laws of nature as created by Allah or defy them. So in this regard, this is not only applicable to the books which are brought by prophets, it is applicable to all laws created by God. And imprinting of laws on things, etching them onto the nature of creation. For that the word alhama is used. Alhamaha fujuraha wa taqwaha. Each thing knows what to do and what not to do. When you leave a stone or anything, it falls. Because this is what God has etched upon it. This is what we call the law of nature. When you strike against the wall, it bumps back. This bumping back also follows the laws of nature. When you can't go forward, you are suddenly stopped. With the same strength and force, you return. So the fire burns and the water extinguishes fire. So the word ilham begins not only with life but before life. It is applicable to the very beginning of creation till the end of creation. So ilham is the vastest in span. Until when man reaches, he is also told fujuraha wa taqwaha. So when he does not follow his taqwa and follows his fujur, then something happens. قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. Those who promote their taqwa, they will rise and climb unlimitedly to higher and higher scales. And those who suppress their taqwa and follow the fujur, they start returning to the point from there they started the upward journey. This verse is very similar to the verse of Surah Teen, Watteen. Watteen وَالزَّيْتُونِ وَطُورِ سِينِينَ وَهَذَا الْبَلَدِ الْأَمِينَ لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ مِنْ أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ في أحسن تقويم ثم رددناه أسفل سافلين إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم أجر غير ممنون. So قد أفلح من زكاها is أجر غير ممنون. قد خاب من دساها is أسفل سافلين, return back to أسفل سافلين. So the word ilham in relation to what I have told you with reference to the Quran is of the widest application. In the inanimate things, lifeless things, ilham means the laws of nature which have been printed upon everything. And they know what is best for them. Everything knows its own sphere. What to do, what not to do, what to avoid, what to follow.
Then does it have a meaning with the sujood?
Of course. That is how they do sujood. You see, the Holy Quran speaks of their sujood as well. In وَالنَّجْمُ وَالشَّجَرُ يَسْجُدَانِ, اور دوسرا بھی ہے وہ وَظِلَالُهُمْ بِالْغُدُوِّ وَالْآصَالِ
والشجر والدواب وكثير من الناس وكثير حق عليه كل شيء.
So that is the sajda. They follow the ilham and they do not have the choice to reject it or to defy it. But whenever they happen to do it, they always suffer. The law is you don't strike against each other. Move into your orbits. But sometimes accidents take place. And when they strike, then you see the havoc is played with the order and everything. So there are lessons for us. Look at the dead things. As long as they move in the orbits created for them, as long as they follow the path, there is no friction, no chaos, no problem. But when they begin to deviate by mistake, there is always some damage done. But then they are brought back. This is the meaning of a shayateen, you know, the hura, the verse of the hura which are in mind. Whenever they try to steal a thing from here and there, follow a path which they are not permitted to follow. then these things happen, but that's a thing of a very of a nature which is very wide of its meaning, and it will not be possible for me to discuss and finish the subject here at this time. Some day later. That is sufficient. Ilham is a word of the widest coverage. When it speaks of the dead things, it means we have bound them in laws, in chains of laws. And we have told everything what to do and what not to do. Now, in chemical reactions, we observe it every day, everywhere. There are certain things which will avoid certain other things, run away from them. There are certain things, chemicals, which are strongly pulled by other chemicals, and they happily unite. And when you forcibly bring those things together, which don't like each other, there is always some damage done. It's not the right thing to do. So, taqwaha, fujuraha wa taqwaha is witnessed in the laws created in nature in so many ways that even a blind would fail to see and observe and bear witness to the truth of this declaration. But when it comes to man or life, then Wahi begins. Wahi begins to operate even in the animals. The Wahi means instinctive messages as well, intuitions. So instinct and intuition are not granted to dead things. They only follow blindly the law. But when you have instincts and intuitions, this is an advanced stage of being able to differentiate between this and that, to take this course or that course. It is there that different animals have been provided with distinct instincts. They shape their life according to those instincts. These are not simple laws of nature like physics and chemistry. They are higher laws belonging to life. And there the word Wahi is for the first time heard in relation to the animals. So, أوحى ربك إلى النحل أن اتخذي من الجبال بيوتا ومن الشجر ومما يعرشون is that way. You see, there are two types of flies. Honeybee is a fly, and common fly is also a fly. If you look at their basic character and scheme and plan, they're practically the same things. But their instincts are different. They are same animals, but the instincts are so different that the one which has not been specially gifted by Allah with a special instinct is completely unaware of that instinct. While if you analyze it, the same wings and the same style and the same type of mouth and things, there's very little visible difference between the style and design of a olive fly and that of honeybee. But what a difference. To one God has Oha, and what a difference it is created. The one to which God has not done the work of Oha, it's not applicable. That eats the dung, the filth, the human refuse, spreads diseases. And, filthy habits always falls in the filth and dirt and carries germs along with it, everywhere. It's a source of great epidemics, means of great epidemics. And what the Wahi, difference which is brought about by Wahi to the animal life is that the same type of sister insect always eats the very best things of life. The juices of fruits, the very nectar of flowers is so clean in habits that this is the only insect in the entire world which is always free from bacteria. No bacteria. This is the only insect in the world whose food is declared to contain shifa. So the one is ambassador of illness and the other is the ambassador of shifa. Therein lies the message for us that Wahi, although it is used not in the terms of Sharia, but still, Wahi is a very special thing. Wahi means Allah creates an instinct. It's not the law of nature. Law is common. Instincts are different. Allah creates an instinct, specially designed instinct, and shows you the difference. So this would happen in the real life if you become a godly person. If you become worthy of receiving Wahi, then the difference between you and other ordinary men would be at least as great as the difference between common fly and the honeybee. You will carry the message of Shifa for everybody. They will carry the germs of disease and spread filth all over the world. Right? One thing I think I've been thinking over it again and again. Although we find the word Wahi starting from the animal kingdom, but I believe that the word Wahi is not just that instinct which is also created by ilham. The animal instincts are also created by ilham. But Wahi is always used to deliver a very special gift. In human beings, it is verbal instruction. In animal kingdom, it is the bent of nature, the style of life. So God blessed the honeybee for that special gift from Allah, a purposeful, intentional instruction, which the zubab was deprived of. So although they were so similar, they were so different that shattane bainahuma, there's a difference of east and west between the two. Jazakumullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Tomorrow inshallah.